really could be relegated, the 5 reasons including an alarming change under Ruben Amorim that the nightmare may become real for England's biggest club. This is one of the most famous sports clubs on the planet. The record 20-time champions of England. Yet as United's players trailed off the pitch at Old Trafford on Monday night, beaten and bewildered after their latest defeat at the hands of Newcastle, the threat of relegation never felt more real in the Premier League era. It has happened before, of course. United dropped out of the old First Division in 1974, just 6 years after winning the European Cup under Sir Matt Busby. Too Good to Go Down was the name of the 2018 documentary charting the demise of Tommy Docherty's team, and those words should serve as a warning that there are no guarantees over United's safety this season either. Asked if his team are now in a survival fight, new head coach Ruben Amorim didn't mince his words. "I think it is a possibility and we have to be clear with our fans," said Amorim. Ruben Amorim has admitted that his Man United side are now in a battle for survival. United find themselves down in 14th and just 7 points above the relegation zone. It is one of the worst moments in the history of our club and we have to accept that. We have to acknowledge our position and focus on surviving. United enter the new year and second half of the season in uncharted territory. On Sunday, they face Premier League leaders Liverpool at Anfield, in danger of plunging even further into freefall. The nightmare scenario of relegation is starting to seem very real. Mail Sport looks at why it could actually happen. Losing streak. The facts behind United's alarming slump speak for themselves. Amorim has suffered 5 defeats in his first 8 league games, the worst record of any United manager in more than a century. The club have lost 3 league games in a row at Old Trafford for the first time since December 1978, and 5 league defeats in the same month for the first time since September 1962. United have not been in the bottom half of the table at New Year since 1989, and are 6 points short of their previous lowest total at the halfway point of a Premier League season. More optimistic fans would point out that the team were also 14th when Amorim replaced Erik ten Hag, and the 7-point gap between United and third from bottom Ipswich is the same as it is between United and the top 8. Others would look at results since Amorim arrived and argue that it's relegation form. They are already fearing a repeat of the 7-0 humiliation at Anfield in March 2023. Change of plan. The concern is that United are actually going backwards under the former Sporting Lisbon boss, largely due to his insistence on keeping the 3-4-3 formation he used in Portugal. It means United's players having to adapt to a new system in mid-season with little time for Amorim to coach it into his squad on the training ground. Asked on Monday night if he might consider a change of tactics to better suit his players, the 39-year-old made it clear there is no alternative and he will stick to the plan come what may. "If I change all the time it is going to be even worse," warned Amorim. "But I understand they have a lot of difficulties because they spent 2 years playing one way. You can feel it, I can feel it, but I have to sell my idea, I don't have another one." The Portuguese has also acknowledged his job could be in jeopardy after just 11 games in charge if results don't improve, although whether United could afford to pay the compensation on his €6.5 million a year contract if they make another managerial change is a different matter. Strapped for cash. United's financial problems after blowing €600 million on new players under Ten Hag mean that Amorim won't be able to simply buy his way out of trouble in the January transfer window. He may need to sell first to get the players who are a better fit for his system, with a left wing-back and striker the priorities. "We don't have that possibility in January," he said. "It is not the case that I am arriving here and can spend a lot of money changing all the team. Offloading any of United's high-earning flops won't be easy, though." Casemiro is once again being linked with a move to Saudi Arabia, and that would be the easiest way of shifting the Brazilian, and Christian Eriksen looked all their 32 years against a younger and more dynamic Newcastle midfield. United face a similar problem with Marcus Rashford and Antony. The best way of raising money for new signings and complying with profit and sustainability rules would be to sell homegrown talents like Alejandro Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo, previously seen as untouchable. That still seems unlikely, however. Otherwise, Amorim will just have to hope there is enough in the pot to make a couple of additions this month. United need to raise funds to buy new players, and that could mean getting aging stars like Casemiro and Christian Eriksen off their books. Star Wars. When United finished third and won the Carabao Cup in Ten Hag's first season, it was on the back of a 30-goal haul from Rashford. Despite being frozen out by Amorim for 4 games before returning as an unused substitute against Newcastle, the 27-year-old is still United's joint top scorer in the Premier League with 4. If he does stay at his boyhood club beyond the January window, Amorim has to somehow get the best out of Rashford. It's a similar story with Garnacho, who was one of the shining lights of Ten Hag's reign. The young Argentina winger is not a natural fit for Amorim's system and has also fallen foul of the head coach, playing the last 4 games off the bench after he and Rashford were axed for the Manchester derby. Having laid down the law, Amorim has to get 2 of his best players back on side to lead the survival fight. Crisis of confidence as well as inheriting a squad that isn't good enough and doesn't fit his playing style, Amorim now has a group of players who are desperately low on confidence after the shocking run of results. Individuals like goalkeeper Andre Onana and defender Lisandro Martinez, 2 of the stronger performers under Ten Hag, have looked shaky in the new system. Amorim took Joshua Xirzee off after just over half an hour on Monday, and the Dutchman's confidence appears to be shattered. Kobbie Mainoo has not kicked on in the way many had hoped, and Rasmus Højlund has struggled to produce the same goal-scoring form in the Premier League as he does in Europe. Then there's Joshua Xirzee. United's 36.5M summer signing has struggled since arriving from Bologna, and looked a broken man when he was substituted in the 33rd minute against Newcastle. The unprecedented cheers from the Old Trafford crowd when Mainoo replaced Xirzee left the Dutchman close to tears as he headed down the tunnel before reappearing on the bench for the second half. Repairing his shattered confidence and that of many of his teammates is no easy task. Joshua Xirzee wanted by Serie A duo amid uncertainty over his Man United future under manager Ruben Amorim. Joshua Xirzee is attracting interest from Juventus and Napoli but will fight for his Manchester United future. The Holland international started his career at Old Trafford, following a €36.5 million arrival from Bologna in the summer, with a bang by scoring on his debut in a 1-0 win over Fulham on the opening day of the season. Although he has continued to play regularly, the 23-year-old's season has stuttered since then, culminating in his 33rd minute substitution against Newcastle on Monday night. Xerxes' stock remains high in Italy, with Juve and Napoli revisiting their interest in the striker amid hope from the Serie A sides that there may be an opportunity to sign the forward due to uncertainty over his position in Ruben Amorim's plans. Both clubs were keen on Xerxes, who has scored 4 goals this season, in the summer but were beaten to his signing by United. And Mail Sport has learned that both clubs are maneuvering themselves into a position to strike for Xerxes should it emerge he can leave. Striker Joshua Xirzee, 23, has made an underwhelming start to his Manchester United career. He was substituted off by Ruben Amorim left after 33 minutes of Monday's loss to Newcastle. Xerxes is believed to be aware of the interest but is fully focused on his season with United and has no desire to leave as he concentrates on playing a role in moving the team up the table. His first-half substitution against the Magpies arrived as an obvious blow but has not dampened his determination to succeed. United head coach Amorim, in explaining his decision to replace Xerxes in the 33rd minute, explained Josh is a really good lad. We will support him and keep going. It was really tough for me to do that, but I've spoken to Josh as it was important to express the message. We needed Josh to go out, for the team. The player is suffering and I was there myself a few years ago. I felt he and the team were suffering during the game and we needed another midfielder. It was tough on me to do that and I've talked with Josh about that because it's important to relay the message. Monday's defeat left United with just 22 points at the midway point of their Premier League campaign.